Hey y'all, did you know that you can use some of your favorite keyboard shortcuts in Wagtail? Yeah, you can. I'm about to change your life. So let's go over here on the sidebar. And if you click on the help menu here, you should see an item called shortcuts. And this will open up a full list of keyboard shortcuts that you can use to navigate Wagtail and to do different things to your text. And so you'll notice that a lot of the actions are very similar to what you find in other text editing programs. I'm on a Mac, so everything here has a command key. If you're on Windows, it'll probably be Control or something similar. But you'll notice that pretty much like copy, cut, paste, things like that. And also down here under the text formatting, all these commands are pretty much the same ones that you would find in most other text editing programs. I will note that you might need a little extra configuration to use things like strike through, superscript, and subscript. So if those don't work for you right away, don't fear, you might just need to add some extra settings. But the ones that I think that are the most useful and that I want to draw your attention to are these three here in the middle. Because they are specific to Wagtail and they can be very useful to you as you're writing and editing. So let's go over to a blog post I published recently for Earth Day. It's on hot takes and climate change, and I'll include a link. If you want to read it, I think you'll learn a lot about digital content and global warming. Anyway, I'm going to scroll down here to update the CTA. Let's say I wanted to make a change and reuse the content. I'm going to open the preview window, but rather than going all the way over and clicking the preview button, I'm going to use Command P to toggle the window instead. Yeah, there's my preview right there. And I can switch it on, switch it off all day long if I wanted to, with my hands not having to leave the keyboard. I do need to use a bit of scroll here to get all the way down to see the CTA I'm changing. But yeah, here it is. And so I'm going to go ahead and update the text. And instead of ready to learn, I'm going to shorten this to curious. And I highlighted the wrong piece, so let's go ahead and do that instead. Curious about Wagtail, nice and short. So rather than saving my draft by going all the way down to the bottom and hitting that big old green save draft button, I'm going to use Command S instead. And hands don't have to leave the keyboard except when you're making gesticulations for videos. And so that makes things a whole lot easier, when you're writing and stuff like that, and you just like get in the habit of saving, it makes it easier to prevent losing some key writing in your Wagtail. Although we do have some news about autosave that I will blab about in just a second. One last thing I wanted to show you is the shortcut for adding a link. So I realized when I published this blog post that I forgot to include a link to our friends at the Green Web Foundation. So let me find that paragraph right here where I want to add that. Yes, here. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight that. And I'm going to go to their website and I'm going to grab their URL. And back here, I'm going to hit Command K, and that opens up the link menu. And so I can just go ahead and add the link right there after hitting Command K. And there we go. We have a brand new link. If I wanted to update that link, remove it or something like that, I can, highlight it again. And then I can hit Command K. And, if I wanted to change it to like their news section or something like that, I could go ahead and make a change. So those are 3 keyboard actions that I hope you'll find very useful. I definitely use them day to day in my Wagtail content. So it's just so useful to have options when you're creating content. And I just wanted to go ahead and say, if you are curious about autosave and Wagtail, we do have some news coming up in our live demo session in May. I'd love to see all of you there. We have 2 different times. Pick the time that works best for your time zone. I have a sign-up link along with our usual link to our newsletter down in the video description.